So if you've attended other SECLI firm meetings or the summer school, you're probably familiar with Teal, which is free online tool provided by WMC, and the concept of which grew from engagements with users and other projects and demonstrators such as the CES Edu demo. And this is designed to raise awareness about changing climate. And this version, the Teal.earth, is aimed at to be an accessible, simple tool for non-experts in, for example, educational settings. So it has simple plotting and data download functionality using ERA5 reanalysis and emissions data, so different variables globally at country level, and then for a range of timescales. So I should say thanks to WMC colleagues who have produced some plots and information for this demonstration too. And so these are the kind of some of the latest developments in the trial service developed with NL. So the eventual tool will be password protected and provide NL with access to data and visualization capability that they require and have requested. So it's literally extra functionality over the our sort of standard Teal version with new regions and data sources. So developing Teal to add the extra requirements, we wanted to retain the simple interface and keep options to, for example, download data, but with extra functionality, new regions, new data sources, and of course, using the seasonal forecasts. So to this end, we were wanting to use the specific requirements that NL's specialized users wanted. So here's a couple of examples of seasonal data plots. So just comparisons to climatology of a seasonal forecast for 6-month lead time, additional optional informations that are available, such as a range of climatology values. So rather than do a kind of live demonstration, because we obviously have confidentiality, some of the information there, my colleagues produced a short demonstration video, but just to give an example of how the original Teal tool is being augmented and extra functions have been added, new filters and the new data, but it still has the look and the feel of the Teal tool. So in addition to the seasonal forecast data, now requested that we include information from shorter range forecasts to complement the seasonal forecast to provide a more comprehensive view of meteorological conditions. And this was wanted on regional maps or gridded data with interactive views. So basically to go through sequence of plots and be able to select times and dates with different variables, and then for this to be integrated into the Teal tool on a dashboard. And of course, for future developments, we would obviously like to improve or increase the different areas that we already have. So new regions of interest, additional variables or statistics, expanding the range of plots, and also the facility for new data sources, so such as climate projections. So when we were talking about what to put in this demonstration, one of my colleagues said that something that was really important, and I think it's worth highlighting. So we could have provided the most complex and comprehensive set of seasonal forecast data visualizations, but this really wasn't what the user required, and we really need to make sure we have the specific information the user wants. And I say we, obviously there's a large team that have been working on Teal, hopefully acknowledged here, and apologies if I've missed anyone. Thank you, Joe.
Ian, would you like to take over now with your case study? And you're still on mute, Ian. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more about about case study 9, which was a Thames joint venture with Thames Water and the Met Office. So basically, the risk to Thames Water and water demand from the weather forecast is due to extremes of weather. So in the winter, where we get extreme cold, and in the summer, where we get extreme in high temperatures. So we're talking, I guess, that below zero temperatures in the winter and temperatures above 25 degrees in the summer have a big effect on water demand. The case study that we looked at to start off was in 2017/18, so it was actually in March 18, something that we named the Beast from the East in the UK, where we had a severe cold spell due to cold air from the east coming in, causing cold temperatures. And when we got the cold temperatures, then what happens is that we can get the water freezing inside pipes, normally in customers' properties and businesses. When the water freezes inside the pipes break, but the water doesn't flow because it's frozen, so we get an ice plug. And then what happens is when the thaw comes, if it comes quickly, all of these breaks, the ice melts and the water runs freely and gives us a very rapid increase in demand. We talked about freeze thaw. It's a relatively rare and extreme phenomenon. So in my time of 30 years in Thames Water, there's probably been as few as 5 cases, but we've had 2 in the last 3 years. And as we say, we get the freeze, extremely cold weather where water can freeze inside the pipes. The ice obviously expands, breaking the pipe, and then a rapid rise in temperature where ice plugs melt and the water flows from all the failures. Now, the sort of rate of thaw is quite important. So if we get a sudden increase in temperature across the whole region, then all the breaks run at the same time. If we get a front that moves slowly across and we get a nice slow thaw, then the breaks, the flow of water will still happen, but we'll get a much lower rise because the people can isolate the leaks as they happen. So this is an aerial picture of the UK, showing that we were in a total freeze. The whole country was under ice and snow, and this is the effect. So thousands of people without water, which is not good for brand image, and the regulator were not very happy with the water company's response in regards to being prepared for what was happening. So again, this sort of led into the SECLI foam project, that if we'd known in advance, then we could have been better prepared. We could have had production levels increased. We could have had storage levels increased in advance, and we could have had resources on the ground ready to react. So water demand. So it's made up of 3 components: base demand, which is everyday use. So toilet flushing, washing, cooking, washing clothing, dishwashers, and that stays pretty stable throughout. And then we've got weather dependent use, which is dependent on sun hours, temperature, dryness, and potentially freeze thaw. So the water dependent usage can be 20% of the base. So in extreme weather in the winter, where we've got this freeze thaw phenomenon, or if we've got a long dry hot spell in the summer, we can see demands rise by 20%. Another component of the demand is weather dependent leakage. So again, we get winter bursts, which we've talked about, not to do with the freeze thaw, but just generally due to the colder water. We get summer bursts, which is due to stress on the network due to having to pump harder to meet demand. And we get seasonal leakage. Now, seasonal leakage is a phenomenon due to, again, lower water temperature. Lower water temperature affects the metal pipes. The metal pipes contract and joints open, and we get seepage through thousands of joints, which gives us a seasonal leakage impact as well. So we go on to a bit of a hindcast into the actual event, which happened in 2018. So when we look back at the event, we could actually using the weather type information, we could actually, if we look back, we could have forecast 14 days prior to the event that there was a potential for the demand to rise significantly. So this sort of led us into into following the weather pattern route to trying to forecast the risk of demand. So if we'd known, we could have increased the forecast. The things we do is increase focus on the short-term weather forecast. So it's a bit of a red flag to say, look, this could happen. The risk's increased. We need to have more focus on the daily forecast, which looks 10 days ahead. We can prepare as we said before, increase storage and production capability. And we can also get a message out to the customers to get the message to them that this risk is there. They may have frozen pipes. If they have got frozen pipes, they're likely to be broken. And when the thaw comes, they're likely to be running, so they can quickly turn off the leaks. And that's the third bit of communication. So again, this is a bit of the communication that we put out actually in February 2021. This is when the trial service indicated 2 or 3 weeks in advance that there was a risk of this phenomenon happening. So we were better prepared, increased production. We put this message in social media. We got it out into the press. So we give people tips on what they could do and how they could prepare and react to the burst pipes. So although the event in 2021 wasn't as extreme as the one in 2018, we actually sailed through without any customer impact whatsoever. Thank you. So that ends the presentation, and we're happy to take any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. We'll quickly rattle through a few questions before I hand over to Stephanie for the group photo. So we've just got a couple of minutes for questions before that. I can see there's one here from Shanti that perhaps, Ian, you might want to answer, then I'll reflect on perhaps overall. But Shanti asks, how much improvement has this work made overall? So from a Thames Water perspective, could you comment on that?
Yes, certainly, Joe. Thanks, Shanti. Yeah, so as well as this this indication in the winter, where we got early warning of the potential freeze thaw in February, we also had a positive result again in the end of May into June, where we knew 2 to 3 weeks in advance of a rising demand due to higher than climatic average temperatures going into June. And again, it helped us to prepare. And the biggest improvement we have, Joe, is because the water treatment process is a biological process. Having extra time to prepare means that we can gradually ramp up the process, which minimises any water quality risk of trying to ramp up the process quickly as we would have had to in the past. So we've had an improvement in quality failures. We've had less customer impact, and we've been able to optimise our production by not having to ramp it up and down so quickly.
Thank you.